It's Friday, July 5th, Saturday, July 6th, if you're on the East Coast, across the pond, or down under. And this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. Hope you had a great day and night heading into the weekend. I am your host, Dave Scott. Broadcasting to you live from the Great White North, on top of the rainy mountains of central British Columbia, right here at SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features coming for you. The Gavinators finishing up here very, very soon. Right now you can read the SOR Newswire and much more. Tonight's show is brought to you by Mighty Moose Beard Oil Company. It's 100% Canadian, 100% natural, taking care of beards around the world. Visit MightyMooseBeard.com. Use promo code SOR2019 today. The first Friday of the month, we have R. Keith Andrews coming in for the ET Connection. However, R. Keith, in a time of need, actually sent all of you an apology for not being able to make tonight's show. Unfortunately, Keith lost his mother last night at 81 years old. He called me just around 5 o'clock this afternoon, crying to let me know. So please, SOR listeners, do me a favor, give a thought and prayer to R. Keith and his family, as they need a lot of love right now. Also, we want to say to everyone in Ridgecrest, California, watch out for the aftershocks. This is 2 in a row that we've had. It was downgraded from 7.1 down to 6.9. It's 2 days in a row you guys have been rocking. And I want to say we're sending our love, our thoughts, and our prayers out to all of you as well. Please stay safe, and please make sure that you're okay from any aftershocks. Make sure you call 911 if you need any emergency needs as well. Filling in for Keith tonight is Eric Cooper and Cole Wegleitner from Forest Moon Paranormal down in Washington State. They are prepped fully into the woo, so tonight we're going to get into extraterrestrial talk with this pair of Washington State investigators. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the news from the SOR Newswire put together by Captain Shirk. Eric Cooper, Forest Moon Paranormal creator, lead, beard extraordinaire. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Dave. Always great to be here. And yes, very sorry to hear about R. Keith and his mom passing. Definitely a hard one. Talked to him earlier today. He still wants to be on S4 tomorrow night, but I told him no. Take your time.
Well, that's good. And do me a favor, introduce Cole here to our audience, because our audience has never heard Cole speak before. And before you guys do, I got to make you realize, audience, Cole lives in Washington State, but he's a transplant. He's actually from Saskatchewan here in Canada. And we'll wave at his mom and dad and everybody now, because Saskatchewan's so flat they can see us up here in the mountains of British Columbia. But Cole also wears a watermelon on his head sometimes to support his football team. But you got to be careful with that. You do have to be careful with that. Cole, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I hope my parents can't see me, because then I'm still in trouble.
Right?
You fled the country, my friend. You fled the country.
Well, that's what happens, My football team was doing way too good, and I just had to leave.
Oh, yeah.
Does that work?
No, not at all. Not at all. Eric, for a lot of people who don't know about Forest Moon Paranormal, you use the word paranormal not in a ghost term, but you use it as an umbrella term for the entire field that you cover. Tell people who may not have heard you before what Forest Moon is all about.
Okay, yeah, you know what? We had such an awesome day yesterday, because we were actually in the Siduoli Lager Rodeo 4th of July parade here in Washington. For those that missed it, it was awesome, because we had Bigfoot on our float. But yeah, Forest Moon Paranormal is an emergency response team for all aspects of the paranormal, like you said. So we take Bigfoot reports, we take UFO reports. We work with alien abductees, as well as the spirit scratches. If you get pushed by, a malevolent entity, not everything is demonic, so we call everything a malevolent entity until proven otherwise. But yeah, we've been doing it since 2004. The current team has been active since about 2010 when I got retired from the Army. So, yeah, and we work globally because we do have an Astral team, meaning our team can actually lock onto your location and travel through the astral realm, which we wouldn't even get into that because that's a whole other show itself. But
where'd you guys go? Eric, we can't hear you now. Did you hit the mute button? Did somebody hit the mute button there? So just to update everybody who is coming in, we have Eric Cooper and Cole Wegleitner coming on in for our Keith Andrews tonight. Keith had to step away for the evening. He apologizes. His mother passed away last night at the age of 81 years old. Hope there's not an earthquake down there that knocked us out.
Cole pointed out that my microphone was muted on the Skype side, not on the actual microphone.
Well, there you go.
So what? You're right. I hate technology.
Did your beard cause that?
No, because I'm not on the phone. I'm on the actual Skype tonight. If it was a phone, I could blame the beard, but I can't blame the beard tonight. So what part do I need to say again? So Forest Moon Paranormal is an emergency response team. We cover all aspects of the paranormal. We take Bigfoot reports, UFO reports. We work with alien abductees. And when it comes to the haunting side, well, we deal with malevolent entities as well as spirit passing, fairies or fae, that realm. Anything that's paranormal or outside the ordinary realm is what we deal with.
Right. Right. Now, how does Cole play into the team, Eric?
So Cole is our technology expert, or he's our technology specialist. He handles all aspects of technology when it comes to the team, when it comes to S4. He's boots on ground. So if it's a local case, and he helps handle that because we have extended care, we have scientists, we have a licensed therapist. So, I mean, we're a wide spectrum as a team when it comes to dealing with the emergency response.
So, Cole, we bring you in here now. You haven't been in the paranormal field that long, only about a year and a half. But what have you learned, Cole, since you entered this?
That I know absolutely nothing. Honestly, mostly, I had no idea there was multiple alien races. When you have no prior knowledge of this, you mostly just hear about the Greys. So to hear the different types of races like the reptilians and the Palladians is quite mind-blowing.
I can understand that. I can totally understand that. How did this catch you off guard? And because Cole, I'm going to question you here a little bit because you come from a First Nations background, and an indigenous background, where you grew up around the stories, around the legends, around the lore of the elders. It surprises me to hear you say that you're that amazed that there are so many alien species visiting Earth right now.
Well, honestly, my genealogy is Native, but I was born in a very white community. So I didn't get a lot of the knowledge that young natives on a reservation would. So with that, I had to actually go out and learn for myself my heritage, but I didn't get to talk to a lot of them. They're not that accepting of a lot of people who aren't on the res.
Right. Right. So do you feel, and I'll ask you it this way then, do you feel a little ripped off that your upbringing, especially with having the First Nations family heritage, that you missed out on all of these legends and stories, whether it's from the Star People or the big hairy men in the forests?
Absolutely. I really do. 90% of what I've learned has come from the show North of 60.
What does that mean for people? What does that mean for people who don't know what North of 60 is?
North of 60 was a show in the early 90s about a small native community in the Northwest Territories, and it's all about people who live in small communities that are very enclosed, and them trying to hold on to their heritage. So it makes it a little harder for them to understand how different communities can work together, like, let's say, Calgary and Edmonton work together as large communities, when their communities, they rely solely on themselves mostly.
So, Eric, when you have a bunch of new guys like Cole coming in, who doesn't have that much experience but shows the willingness to learn and to figure this out, how do you control, and maybe control's a bad word, but how do you teach your team about the do's and don'ts of the entire paranormal umbrella?
Oh, we train. So coming from an Army background, I believe fully in training, because obviously in the Army you train all the time. You train for war. In this perspective, you train for the paranormal. You train for how to handle a UFO landing case if that were to happen. You train for how to pass over a spirit. What is a spirit? What is a malevolent entity? How do you protect yourself? You train in all aspects of what we do. You have to. So I'm not going to, if you're not trained properly, you're going to have a team that's not ready. You're going to have a team that's going to get hurt, and that's the last thing we want, especially from a response perspective. You look at fire departments. They train all the time for a fire because they don't want to get hurt in the fire. They'd be part of the problem. So, we train all the time. So when it comes to the UFO side, we train. That's part of the dangers of the paranormal part of it. Because you've got radiation tracing. You've got a whole plethora of problems that could happen with the UFO and alien side. So, and it's exciting to have team members that are new to the paranormal that want to learn. I'd rather have a team member that knows nothing that we can train properly than somebody that's been in the field and thinks they already know everything and they're not willing to. I don't need protection because I've done it this way and I've never gotten hurt. I've never had an attachment. And so on and so forth. So, yeah, when it comes to, like Cole, coming from not knowing anything and getting his, and that's also where S4 came in. He started coming on S4, and he became a permanent fixture on S4. And having our Keith come on S4 really opened his mind.
Sounds like an 80s van driving in the background. Does it have tinted windows and free candy on the side?
No, that was Matt. He was leaving. He's actually part of our Boots on Ground team. He had to go. In fact, it was his trailer that we used yesterday for the float.
Oh, nice. Eric Cooper and Cole Wegleitner are joining us tonight on the ET Connection. And in this one, we're going to get into a lot of extraterrestrials coming on up here. Coop, your team deals with a lot of different extraterrestrial cases. How did you shift from a paranormal team looking into ghosts and everything into aliens?
We've always been in UFOs and aliens. So I got thrown into literally the paranormal field in the 1990s, stationed in Stuttgart, Germany. Because if you're familiar with European culture to begin with, they're very open-minded when it comes to the paranormal. And I had so much happen in Germany, my first duty station, that I kind of got thrust into it, not on the investigator side, but on the experiencer side. And I've been in the UFO abduction field since 1994. So when it comes to, and like I've told you on SOR and S4, my third UFO sighting was actually in Iraq going over Syria. So Forest Moon Paranormal actually started in Iraq with a bunch of soldiers that were handling issues in Iraq. That is the birthplace of Forest Moon Paranormal. So we've always been into the UFO abduction field as well as, the haunting and the cryptid side.
Do you remember your first UFO case or ET case?
I'm thinking, so what got me into the abduction field was in 1994 when a friend of mine was actually abducted and had all the initial signs, including the missing fetus, from the Gray Hybrid program. And from there, being thrust into it that way, my first book was Dr. David Jacobs' Secret Life of Abduction. And I started researching and studying from that point. And that was exactly April of 1994.
Cole, do you remember your first UFO case?
So I wasn't actually a full-fledged member of the team. I hadn't gone through all the training yet when our last alien case that we did came up.
Which one was that? North Carolina?
Yeah. So I actually haven't done one yet. Still waiting.
Well, tell us about the case that you when you were in training. What happened there?
I honestly don't know, because I was when Eric will not allow anyone in training to have anything to do with the cases that are active.
And that's for team safety. And that's for team safety. That's for team safety. Again, they have 4 required trainings before they can actually participate in a case. So the way things generally work, because we don't have too many boots on ground cases, unfortunately. I'd love to have more boots on ground cases, but and we're working on getting the word out that we're here. Going into the parade yesterday was part of that step. And I mean, just going through the parade yesterday, I think we have 2 cases that are actually pending, not UFO related that I'm aware of yet. But so generally speaking, what happens is I'll either get a message on Facebook, I'll get a phone call or email. I'll kind of triage the situation, figure out if it's UFO, abduction, haunting, and depending on where it's at, start a chat with the client and pull the Astral team in along with Cole or whatever required part of the team is necessary for that case. Whether, if it seems like it might be a little more traumatic, then I'll pull Francie, our licensed therapist, in. Now, the particular case that Cole is in, Cole's watched a lot of these cases through the chat because it'll be a team chat with the client. And I know Cole's actually seen where the Astral team is saying one thing, the client's saying another, and they all parallel. You can actually see essentially what's going on for both sides of it.
Mostly the best probably case that I did was a native elder in northern Alberta. And the gentleman was very upset because 2 young boys had moved some of his items from when his tribe was in that area. They had found an old arrowhead and something else that belonged to him. And so he was in their backyard constantly making them uncomfortable. But it's just because he was angry.
Right.
And in those cases, generally speaking, you can appease the spirit, and in that case, the elder, the native elder. And I don't like the word contract, but you make a deal. The family is not going to do this to disrespect your tribe. And the native elder, which we communicate with via Astral, will agree and understand, generally speaking. In that case, he did. And so, you tell the client, look, this is what you need to do, and this is what you don't want to do, or you'll make them mad again. And usually, the case is done. Now, for us, the case is never done, because if the family's got an issue later on down the road, we will always pick that case back up.
How do you choose your clients?
We don't. The clients find us. I think that's what you're referring to.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, the clients usually find us, and things have been slow. I don't complain, because, I mean, we've handled, and even Cole's going, wow, 10 cases at once? And I tell them, well, actually, I think that was 5 cases at once that time, wasn't it? So yeah, we had 5 cases going on at once, and I told them, that's a slow day, because there's been times we've had 10 cases going on simultaneously, but we had a larger team back then. Right now we are down. We do have an Astral class starting up on the 8th. So for any of your listeners that want to learn Astral, we do have a class starting up on the 8th. You're cutting down close to time right now, because there are class requirements they need to get. And Richard Benak is our instructor. So if they want to take Astral class, they can jump into FMP, and there is a post in there that can contact Richard Benak directly and get the material. But we are hurting for team members. We're never hurting, because we always get the job done, but we do need more team members.
How many are you at now?
We've got 2 Astral right now. 2 Astral. So we have an extended care team as well. We have 3 on the extended care team, which is completely sufficient. So the extended care team, what they do, the Astral team goes in, clears the case, makes it safe. The extended care comes in, and they're initially the ones that teach the client what they need to do to keep their home safe. They give the home back to the client. They teach them how to clear their home, how to protect themselves, how to, and anything happens during that process, Astral has no problem coming back in to take another look.
All
and
right.
Then,
on that, hold it right there, Coop, because we're going to get you to hold that thought. Eric Cooper is our guest tonight, along with Cole Wegleitner. They are from Forest Moon Paranormal, filling in for our Keith Andrews tonight on the ET Connection. Keith is not with us tonight. He lost his mother yesterday. So we wish Keith a lot of love and support and prayer right now. And everybody in Ridgecrest, California, you make sure you're safe and tied down. You want to make sure that you get a good chance to be safe from all these earthquakes going on there. More Spaced Out Radio next. Hey, Spaced Out Radio listeners, it's Dave Scott. I want you to check out a great documentary I'm involved in called Beyond the Spectrum, Mosson's UFO Files. Directed by Darcy Weir, the film follows Jaime Mosson's journey for mainstream journalistic truth in ufology in Mexico. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon Prime. If you're a member, watch it free. It's worth the watch. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paranormal in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters, watching the rain fall down when the lights go down in the city. Hey, if you want to check out all of our archives on YouTube, you could do so for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where the Gavinator is working on a plethora of features, which will be coming out very soon. You can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, listen to the show live as well, everything at spacedoutradio.com. Filling in for R. Keith Andrews on the ET Connection is Eric Cooper and Cole Wegleitner from Forest Moon Paranormal. Now, if you're in one of our chat rooms or you are on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio, make sure you do me the favor and type your questions in capital letters, because I do want to get them to these guys. They're ready for your woo, people. They are ready for your woo. We got to take this to peak levels tonight. Eric and Cole, welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining us and filling in for Keith.
Well, thank you.
It's always a pleasure.
Now, right off the bat, we're going to spike this meter at least half right now. Eric, you have been dealing with extraterrestrials and ET contact through the astral realm and otherwise for a long time here. How many different extraterrestrials do you think that Forest Moon Paranormal has dealt with on cases?
Oh, God, let's see, at least 5, specifically on cases. One in particular I can remember, we had, obviously, the reptilians and the mantids and the grays, which are common with most of your abductions. But then on this one, we had some kind of a, I don't even think Keith gave me a name for this one, but it was kind of like the creature from Tremors, an underground slug-looking thing. And, well, let's see, and then the other one that Keith calls the octopod we've dealt with, and then there was a translucent energy being that we've dealt with. So 6. 6 that the team's actually dealt with.
So out of those 6, were they relatively easy to deal with? Were they difficult? Were they here to hunt people down and do all sorts of bodily testing?
Bodily testing. No. So that'd be the scientific races. So the grays generally, when you go in and stop the abduction, they will usually cut their losses, at least temporarily, and fall back. The reptilians are very warrior-like. They're the ones that will actually go to combat with you. Mantids are probably fall in between, because sometimes the mantids will step up and kind of get scared and fall back. Again, we've only dealt with this slug race once, the translucent race once. What was the other one? The octopods. In fact, I don't think the octopods are off-world. They're actually ancient from Earth. So they wouldn't really fall into the off-world category. But when it comes to your barbaric, your go-to-combat ones, they'd definitely be the reptilian races.
Well, I want to learn more about these slug races you're talking about here. Are you talking they're leaving a slimy trail down people's hallways in order to abduct them from their bedrooms?
No, this is a race that actually tunnels under the ground. They don't leave any kind of slime trail. And And the team found out really quick, actually, that if you slice them in two, they turn into two different beings. Much like slugs, on Earth. So are they related? Maybe. I don't know. I can't tell you a whole lot about them because we only dealt with them the one time. But yeah, you definitely when you're astral, you use fire to kill them. So, talking astral...
what about salt? Do you carry salt with you?
No. We haven't tried salt. So I don't know. Fire works well on them.
Come on. You got to carry salt with you, man. Didn't you ever do that as kids when slugs were around to go pour some salt on them? Watch them shrivel up and die?
No, we tell people to put salt down their drains to clear their houses. To basically seal and protect their houses.
Okay, so these slug groups, you say they're living in Hollow Earth.
I don't know about Hollow Earth. Hollow Earth, now that's a whole other show. But, I'd say subterranean, not Hollow Earth, just below the surface of the Earth.
Okay.
Think of the movie Tremors. That's the easiest way to describe these guys.
Those look more like worms.
They do, and that's why they're hard to describe, but that's the closest we can come up to describing them. Like I said, it wouldn't be the same thing, but yeah, these ones look more like slugs, probably not as long as the ones on Tremors.
Catherine is asking in the chat room, the Spreaker chat room, how many different types of Earth-based alien entities have you dealt with, and what are they?
Just the ones I described. Again, the Greys are highly common. They're the most common ones for abduction. The reptilians you will often find working with the Greys. For the purpose, I'm really not sure, other than maybe as guardians or to protect the Greys when they're doing their abducting. Are they working together as far as that goes? Potentially. So the Pleiadians, I'm thinking here. So the Pleiadians won't, and I can tell you a lot of what Keith has said because he's on our show. But when it comes to the Pleiadians, I know they can't handle our atmosphere, so you won't find them here. Are they coming here astrally? That could be a possibility because you got so many people that talk about how they've met the Pleiadians, they work with the Pleiadians, things of that nature. We haven't ever worked with them, so I can't answer that with fact. Again, the slug race, the tremor race, we've dealt with the one time. The translucent race, we've dealt with the one time. And the mantids. We found the mantids working with the Greys on 2 different cases.
Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Now, when you are going into these meetings, are you going in on a personal level where they're going to be face-to-face with you, or are you going in on the astral level?
Most of these are on the astral level. I've only encountered the reptilians once, personally. And that was 2 different occasions. That's when I was stationed in Atlanta back in 1999, and again in Fort Lewis in 2007.
What was it like being face-to-face with a reptilian?
Not pleasant. In fact, they essentially attacked me in the situation in Atlanta. I got a splitting headache. I got very nauseous. I had praying mantises around me, and never seen them before. That was the first time. soon as the reptilians left, the mantises left, praying mantises left, and it was almost like there was an ear-splitting dog whistle. Is the easiest way to explain it was like I heard a dog whistle, and they were gone. So what that was, I really don't know. Other than I was protected. I gotta tell you, they smell like a combination of sewer and rotting flesh. You smell that, you'll know they're around. And the same thing the same thing at Fort Lewis. I smelled the smell. I felt the energy. It's weird, but all of a sudden our van started leaking, and it never ran again after that. Did they cause it? I don't know. Possibly. But it was interesting.
No kidding. No kidding. Cole, have you had any face-to-face experiences yet, even though you're new to the team?
No. Most of my work with the team is local in the community, and then setting up Eric for his technical sides of S4 and doing any events that we do.
So he doesn't let you come play?
Well, we haven't actually had the opportunity locally to come play. I am not trained in Astral, nor do I have a lot of, let's say, want to go. I'm Shaggy. I'm that one who's going to be running through every door as far as I can get away.
Really, you're part of a paranormal team, and you're full of chicken feathers, and will run the opposite direction.
Look, Dave, I'm 400 pounds. I'm a big dude. But yeah, I'm scared out of my mind.
Oh, man. I have a whole different perception of you now, my friend. Coop, tell people about Astral Travel. What's it like?
Okay, so with Astral, I guess the easiest way to explain Astral, we were just talking about this today, is in the Stranger Things, which I still haven't gotten to see the third season yet. It just came out yesterday. But, so, what did they call it? Now I can't remember. The Upside Down. There we go. Probably one of the easiest portrayals you can think of. So with Astral, it's very similar to out-of-body experience. If you have the dreams of flying, sometimes it can be because you're astraling. So back in the 60s and 70s, the government did what's called remote viewing. And they were consciously leaving their mind. And they were spying on the Russians. They use it to spy on the Chinese. The Chinese. But they can't interact. It's only observation. So with astral travel, you actually consciously leave your body. And so some of the team, they have to use a picture, the Google map and address, and they can be there within seconds to minutes, depending on where it's at. So with the astral, you can interact with spirits. You can interact with malevolent entities. Basically, when it comes to the abduction side, certain team members have the ability to identify an implant and basically do an energy burst, which disabled the implant.
Hey, we got fireworks going on.
Yeah, we got fireworks. Ain't it great?
America.
Hold on, I gotta mute you guys because of that. It's coming through really, really loud. Hopefully it's not a big burst there. Oh, it seems to be over. I guess not. Oh, there's some. I'll get you guys to keep muted there for a couple of seconds here. Are we off now?
Yeah.
Now, was that the neighbor? Is that what that was? That was the neighbor?
Yes.
Okay, he realizes that the 4th of July was yesterday, right?
Oh, they don't care. So yes, Izzy is in the chat room, and she astrals and can explain a lot in the chat room as we're talking. So where was I before I got interrupted by booms? So yeah, once the implant.
Really? Now they must be listening to you. They must be listening to you. Listen to the show. This is Karma right now. Karma. I'll get you guys to mute your microphone for a few minutes while the fireworks continue in the background. There we go. Eric Cooper and Cole Wegleitner from Forest Moon Paranormal are filling in tonight for our Keith Andrews on the ET Connection. They're trying to do it. Trying to get their words out. But the fireworks keep coming by. I didn't know you saved them down there. See, up here, certain areas you can't even get fireworks.
We can talk until they start up again. Yeah, these people have no concept of, the 4th was yesterday, today the 5th. So with Astral, it's easier to communicate with spirits. It's easier to combat malevolent entities. I know you had guests that were asking if you bleed. No, you don't bleed, but you can die. And your physical body will die. So we have had Astral team get hurt. We do have a lot of protocols that we use in place to try to protect them and to keep them safe. And so one concept we do use, the team will come to headquarters. They will touch down. Headquarters is shielded. They will go to location. They'll handle what they got to handle. They'll come back to headquarters, touch down, and go home. That way, if they are followed, they'll get stuck at headquarters on the shield. As far-fetched as it sounds to some people, it is very realistic. It is not woo. Our client base can attest to that. Well, you can attest to that, Dave. You've been a client before. You've got people that think Astral's hokey, and I catch heck all the time. Well, there's no such thing as Astral. Actually, there is. You know what? We've handled a good 200 to 300 cases a year, and that's a very low number because there's oftentimes, again, we handle 10 cases a day. It's been slow now, and it's nice. It's nice having slow times because when we get slammed, we get slammed.
It sounds like you're at a shooting range here. What colors are the fireworks right now? I think we're all wondering.
They are green, red, and white.
So he's shooting off Italian and Mexican colors.
Right.
And the post-4th of July celebration.
Yeah, and we'll hear them for the next month.
So with Astral, can anybody do this? And what's the difference between an out-of-body experience and astral travel?
So, yes, most people can do this. Me, I'm blocked. I've been blocked since birth. I'll always be blocked. Again, my mate does astral. And so, yes, I haven't been astral. I have the ability to go astral through her if I want, but I choose not to because my purpose is not to go astral. So people ask me, well, how do you know what astral is? Well, because I talk to the team all the time. I know what astral is. And so there you go. Astral team is not, and so astral is not the same as a lucid dream. Lucid dream, you actually don't leave. Is the same as out-of-body experience. It can be. Because without a body, you can be dream traveling versus astral. Astral, you're actually in a different realm, a different plane. Dream traveling, not so much.
Well, the good news is we only have about 3 minutes before we got to go to break here. And That way, I don't even know what to say. I'm going to get you guys to mute while you're not speaking. So that way it doesn't come through. Thank you. I appreciate that. There we go. There we go. I want to see the fireworks now. I'm feeling a little ripped off. I didn't see one firework on Canada Day. It's like the forgotten hobby up here.
Well, do they do fireworks in Canada Day?
They haven't the last couple of years up here due to the fire restrictions. So I didn't get to see fireworks. It's like people up here kind of think that fireworks are passé. But we have one listener out there, one listener from the UK who might be coming to Vancouver for the Symphony of Lights because she's part of a fireworks team.
That's a beautiful show.
That is a beautiful show. Very beautiful show. We got under 2 minutes left here before we got to go to break. Now, we were talking about the dangers of astral travel. How dangerous is it, Eric?
So, yes, we have had a team member that was hit by an energy, basically an energy blast from an alien. That individual basically lost all energy to the point that they went to sleep without being tired, essentially. We have had team members that came back and their physical body was scratched, bruised, and again, you can die. If you're killed in astral or if you're mortally wounded in astral, your physical body will die.
How come? Isn't it like dreaming, or
no?
Can the soul not get back?
No, you're awake when you're astraling. So some people, yes, they have to go to sleep to astral. Other ones that are mastered with it, well, we have one that can actually astral while he's driving. Don't ask me how he does it. I don't ask. But I tell him he should do that. Okay, hold on.
Brought out the 50 cal there that time.
There we go. But just think of it as an energy body that you're in astral with. So, yes, if that time... So, other people describe, basically, you have like a tail that's connected to your energy body, or to your physical body from astral. So, yes, right. if that tail is cut, and you can't find your way back to your body, then yes, you can die.
We're into grenades now. As we go to break at the top of the hour. Eric Cooper and Cole Wegleitner filling in for R. Keith Andrews on the ET Connection. Your questions and their answers coming up in hour 2 right after this on Spaced Out Radio.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is Watching.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com. Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Hey fans, it's Dave Scott. Do I have something for you to check out? A great documentary about legendary Mexican investigative journalist Jaime Maussan and his search for the truth about UFOs. Beyond the Spectrum, Maussan's UFO files can be found on Amazon Prime. It's free to watch if you're a member. You might even hear me in it. So check out Beyond the Spectrum, only on Amazon Prime. The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacey, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paranormal in Cedar Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Thanks for being with us. Tomorrow night and Sunday, Tessa Nicole Thomas is back with Spaced Out Weekend, 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com. Hi to everyone listening in Ridgecrest, California, KZFX 93.7 FM. I hope you are doing just fine after the pair of earthquakes yesterday and again today. Please stay safe down there. We love you guys listening to us, so just stay safe and make sure that you got 911 prepared just in case you need it. KDNF, AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas, down in Reedsport, Oregon. KDUN, AM 1030. We're on UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, and down in Noonan, Georgia, WQEE 99.1 FM. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Revolution Radio. Good to have you with us. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Zugmatography. Zugmatography is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where the Gavinator is working on a plethora of features to bring to you in the next few weeks. And you can listen in on the show live on their website as well. Read up on Captain Shirk's SOR News Wire. Filling in for R. Keith Andrews tonight on the ET Connection are from Forest Moon Paranormal, Eric Cooper and Cole Wegleitner. Now, the reason why Keith is not here tonight, it's real sad news. He lost his mother at the age of 81 last night. So he's decided to take the night off, which we wish him all the best, and thoughts and prayers from everybody in the Spaced Out Radio family. Eric, Cole, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate you filling in on short notice.
Absolutely.
Not a problem.
All right, let's get to some audience questions here. Lee in the Spreaker chat room is asking about astral travel, and he's asking, can you remote view and astral travel simultaneously?
It's possible, but again, not something we do because there's no need for it. Again, with remote viewing, you can't interact in any way, shape, or form. It's simply that, viewing. So there's no reason for us to view, because the cases we handle is usually spirit passing, malevolent entity removal, things of that nature. Well, we have to be interactive. So, I suppose, but not something we've tried nor something we need to do.
Okay, follow-up question from Lee. Is astral travel initiated by remote viewing, and do you need a target?
No, it's not initiated. They're two separate things. Again, remote viewing is consciously living your mind, whereas astral travel is consciously living your body. It's not initiated. They're two separate gifts or abilities. And so, as far as target, usually the team will lock onto the energy of the client, either through phone conversation, which they can do, depending on the individual again. The other more common method we use is we will get an address. The client fills out the pre-investigative form that we use. We pull the address up on Google Maps, generally speaking. They get a visual of the address, and they leave. They're gone. They go to the site.
Right. Very cool.
So as far as the target, that would be the target. Now, with remote viewing, they're given grid coordinates given by the controller, because it usually takes two people to do remote viewing, going by the CIA handbook that they use. I've got the handbook. I've never done it, never tried it, but I know they have a controller and the remote viewer, and they have a set of grid coordinates they use. Because I read a book one time that they actually remote view the moon, they remote view Jesus Christ. They've done some interesting stuff, and so I'm not sure what exactly the grid coordinates are. Whether they're literal grid coordinates of the Earth, whether they're astral grid coordinates, I have no idea. I'm not sure. But I know they do need target grid coordinates for remote viewing.
How does one know if they need some sort of astral travel help?
So with the team, that's usually what I do with my triage. I'll kind of look at what the scenario is, what the situation is. And again, that oftentimes goes by physical location. If it's global, then obviously we're going to send astral in if we don't have a boots-on-ground team near the case. If it's boots on ground, then the team will actually go in. But we might have an astral overwatch, essentially. Someone that's going to make sure we don't walk out with an attachment that gets fire protection. Basically keep the team safe before we walk into a potentially volatile situation.
Plus, you got to remember, Dave, that we are in a paranormal emergency response team, so what we do is outside the norm of the realm, or the realm of the normal. Sorry. You won't have someone who knows what they actually need for help.
Explain that a little bit more. Like, how do you know? You don't know until you get there? Is
what
that
I
what
mean
you're
by
saying?
that is when someone comes to us for help, they know they have a problem. They know that they need it fixed, but at the same time, they don't know themselves how to fix it or what could fix it. So mostly the way our clients come to us is through our Facebook group of Forest Moon Paranormal, and a lot of them are through word of mouth. So if someone is in our group and their friend is having a problem, they suggest they come to us. And then that person joins the group, fills out one of our questionnaires, and that goes straight to Eric, and he triages the cases to us as a team.
Gotcha. Okay, Eric, take us through the type of case where you're dealing with something on the astral level. Let's pick up the woo a little bit here.
Pick up the woo. Okay. So what's common is, I'll get a client, they're being scratched, or what's worse, because what hits the top of the tier is children. So they have a 3-year-old. This 3-year-old's been in the same bedroom since they were born. All of a sudden, that 3-year-old is terrified of something in the room. They won't go back to the room. So oftentimes you'll look at the age and you'll think, okay, a 3-year-old, they throw, my kids are 7 and 8. You know my kids. But you have a 3-year-old, you think, okay, are they just acting like a 3-year-old? Are they just acting out? Do they see something on TV? Things of that nature. But no. Oftentimes, with the children cases we've handled, that 3-year-old is too terrified to go back in their room. Throw the fact in that you might have a dog or cat that also will not go in that room. The validation fact that the case is complete is once the astral goes in and they figure out it's either a malevolent entity, it might be Grandma Mary, but a child doesn't know the difference between a spirit all the time or a malevolent entity. Throw in the fact, too, that maybe that child is getting bruises while they're sleeping or a scratch while they're sleeping. Once the case is done, the team has identified it is a spirit. We cross over the spirit. We go to combat with a malevolent entity and send them back where they came from and then seal off the child's room. Now, all of a sudden, the dog is completely fine walking into the room. The child has no problem and is playing in their room. You know the case is done.
Okay, so what could be attacking children?
Oh, there's all kinds of malevolent entity types that will attack a child. Children, for one, are more perceptive and more vulnerable because they don't know how to protect themselves. They aren't closed off to the point where they're seeing fairies, they're seeing spirits, things of that nature. That's the biggest reason. When it comes to the common spirit, Grandma Mary might be there to protect the child. Or, they haven't seen the child when they were born because they were deceased before the child was born. So, of course, they're going to check on it.
So go ahead.
So because, cats and dogs can actually see in the fourth dimension, they're also more vulnerable. I've got a video where you could actually see a cat being picked up by the fur, by the tail. When the team went in, it was actually Fae that were attacking because the family actually did remodeling in the closet in the bathroom and basically opened up the pathway for the Fae to come in. Cats and dogs are also vulnerable to attack because of the fact that they're seen as protective creatures, protective animals, and are seen as a threat to spirits, malevolent entities, and Fae.
Got you. PBR is asking if you can describe what the combat in astral travel is like.
So with combat, and I hate using this as an example, but the movie Matrix, and it's a bad example, but quite often when it comes to combat, the particular astral member will pick what their weapon is going to be. Oftentimes it's a shield. Oftentimes they'll use an element, such as fire, such as ice, such as... those are the two common ones to use as weapons. And then you basically pick out the vulnerability of whatever entity or, in some cases, alien race you're going to combat with is. And you use it as a weapon. The element, per se.
So do you see what type of creature you are working? Like, is it like you or me looking at my computer screen like that? Is it that vivid?
Yes, it can be.
Okay.
So we had a case here locally where the creature was actually described as a large gorilla with fangs. And I'll walk through this one real quick because it's a prime example of what Boots on Ground and Astral and the client, and I think I've told this exact same scenario that actually happened on Spaced Out Radio as well as S4. So the client was complaining of scratches in the walls, odors, scratches physically, and so we went in, sent the medium in. She came back and said there was the feeling of something running. We walked through with EMF. We got, so normal baseline, every EMF meter is going to have its own baseline. This particular EMF, the baseline was about 50. But we were picking up high levels of 90 to 100 throughout the house. And at the attic door was about 120. We came out, talked to the client. The client said he'd never been in the attic, wasn't even sure what was up there. So anytime you have high EMF readings like that, you have to look at the age of the house. You have to look at the fact that you might have old wiring, things of that nature. EMF is electromagnetic frequency. And so I called Astral. I got Astral in. They went in. They went to the attic. They found this entity that looked like a gorilla, had fangs. Asked what to do. I told them remove and clear. About 15, 20 minutes later, we went back through. Medium went through, said it was clear. We went through with the EMF, all baselines were back down to 50. Now, you look at it from a mundane perspective. If it was a wiring issue, those EMF meter readings wouldn't be down to 50, unless there's something else there. You can't get a better example of Astral, boots on ground, and using your medium, along with the client perspective, than that. The client has never had a problem since then.
Cole, what's your thoughts on this? Like, coming in as an outsider.
Okay, so the cases that I have been on, I am not an Astral member. So with that, I can't Astral, I can't see what they're doing. So we use a messenger app to talk to each other while these guys are doing this. Now, Dave, if I was to ask you, what's in my kid's bedroom right now? Could you tell me?
No, I couldn't.
Okay. So on the case that I talked about earlier with the Native Elder, one of our Astral members was actually able to ask the client. Now, this Astral member lives here in Washington. He asked her who the Superman fan was. It was her son. He had a poster of Superman on his bedroom wall. Brent described it to her. That right there told me this is real. He is in that house. I don't know if it's his soul or what it is, what part of him is there. But that to me was amazing.
I've had that happen when I had Tony from your team come in and check my house. And he described my my entire upper floor to a T, from my door to where the hallways were to where the bedrooms were. Now, Tony, I believe, lives in Indiana.
Yeah,
and he's never been to my house. Never been to my house at all. So I find that very interesting.
Yeah, and that's why I get a little irritated with skeptics. I really do. Because I get attacked all the time about, oh, your team is fake. Well, you know what? You can talk to the thousand clients that we've dealt with over the last 14 years. Go ahead. Talk to any one of them that we've helped. And they can tell you right now that we've been through their house in Egypt, in South Africa, in Australia. Talk to any one of them, and they can validate that we've been to their house astrally. We've cleared their house, and they've never had a problem since. Because we actually get into it with other teams at times because they think we're just too woo-woo for them. But we're an emergency response team. If they're in it for evidence, by all means, collect your evidence. But half the teams that go in to collect evidence, we're the team that's got to go in and clean up the mess because they go in and stir things up and leave. They aren't there to help the client. And I understand every team's got their place. Every team's got their purpose. And I can respect that. But if you're there only to collect evidence, let that client know. You're here to collect evidence. You're not here to help that client. Because when someone asks for a paranormal team to come in and help them, they're not there for that team to just come in and take some pictures and get some EVPs and some EMF readings and whatnot. They're there because they think that team's there to help them. And then that team leaves. And what really irritates me is the teams that go in because they watch something on paranormal TV and think, oh, that looks cool. And so they go in and actually see something, get terrified and run away. That happens all the time. They shouldn't be in the paranormal field if they aren't there to help them. But once they realize that the paranormal really does exist, oh my God, they get out of the field. Because you're just stirring things up, you're validating the client's fear, and we get to clean up your mess.
We got 2 minutes left before we go to break at the bottom of the hour, and I want to get to Lee's question here. Lee is asking, Eric, has any of your team ever brought back anything from Astral?
No, they can't. It's not possible. It is possible if you have enough energy, but none of our team has that desire, for one, because we're there to remove, not bring stuff back. Now, physical evidence, no. You know, I get asked, well, you kill aliens, where are the alien bodies? Well, they were killed via Astral. So, no, there's not going to be an alien body. Which adds to the woo factor. Oh, yeah, you guys are just crazy. No, well, actually, we stopped an abduction. So, is that really crazy? I don't think so.
Well, to some people it is, though, because they don't understand.
They don't understand, but, you know, I don't care. And it sounds bad, I get that. I don't care if they understand or not, as long as that client is safe, that client has their life back. That's what matters.
If you look at...
Go ahead, Cole.
If you look at 90% of the posts on our group from past clients, they have a happier life because of FMP. How can we argue with that?
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with Cooper's beard.
That's what it is.
I'm just saying.
I know you aren't arguing with the beard, otherwise you're not going to get to tug it.
Gentlemen, on that note, we are going to go right now to our break at the bottom of the hour. We have Eric Cooper, Cole Wegleitner from Forest Moon Paranormal filling in for R. Keith Andrews. We're going to get into some fun stuff coming up right after this on Spaced Out Radio and more of your questions as well. Hey, Spaced Out Radio listeners, it's Dave Scott. I want you to check out a great documentary I'm involved in called Beyond the Spectrum, Mosson's UFO Files. Directed by Darcy Weir, the film follows Jaime Mosson's journey for mainstream journalistic truth in ufology in Mexico. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon Prime. If you're a member, watch it free. It's worth the watch.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rockin'. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESSA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you will be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paranormal in Cedar Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Glad you're finishing off your week with us. Thank you very much. Reminder that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always go on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where soon the Gavinator will have a plethora of features for you to check out. Right now, you can read up on the SOR Newswire and listen to the show live right now. We introduce Eric Cooper and Cole Wegleitner. They are from Forest Moon Paranormal, filling in for R. Keith Andrews tonight on the ET Connection. Now, the reason why Keith is not here and we're not at peak woo levels tonight is because we're all sending thoughts and prayers to him tonight because he lost his mother last night at 81 years old, and Keith is pretty upset about that. So if you could send him some love, he would greatly appreciate it, and so would we. We're also sending some love out to everybody listening in on KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, after the big earthquake again today, registering 6.9 on the Richter scale. Please be safe, and if you have any troubles, please call 911. Do not hesitate on that. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Eric, there's a lot of UFO talk lately, and that's kind of where we're going to go with a lot of this tonight. But Joe has a question in the chat room, and it's about Bigfoot. Do you deal with Sasquatch? And
we do.
If so, do you use Astral, or do you go in physically looking for them?
We go in physically, yeah. We haven't used Astral, not with Bigfoot. So, yes, we do have tracks. We have seen tracks. We have had wood knocks. We have had Bigfoot actually respond back with wood knocks intelligently. But yes, no, we don't use Astral for Bigfoot sightings. That's simply for hauntings and with the alien side.
We are hoping to try and catch him through, not catch him. We are hoping to communicate with him through a spirit box this summer.
Oh, yeah, that would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. We're going to try that up here as well. But why haven't you tried astrally with Bigfoot yet?
It's just not a priority. Because, I mean, face it, we're in the mountains. We have Bigfoot around us up here. So Bigfoot's not a paranormal emergency. So we haven't, we use the team where it's required for emergencies, not with Bigfoot. So it just hasn't presented itself.
All right. So in dealing with cryptids, is there a different way to deal with cryptids rather than with paranormal or alien type contact?
Say that one more time.
Is it different dealing with cryptids compared to dealing with ghosts or aliens?
Hands down, because when you're dealing with cryptids, it's more physical, obviously. So dealing with cryptids, we do go armed, not to kill anything, but just to be defensive if we need to be. Now, if it's, to be honest with you, if a Bigfoot wanted to attack you, I don't think a firearm would help you anyway. Just my opinion. But yeah, and you know the deal. You've talked about Bigfoot and FYSOR. Even if you set up a game cam, if he doesn't want to be seen, he's not going to be seen. Is Bigfoot kidnapping people? I don't think so. You've got too many cases where children have described a Bigfoot type creature that brought them back to camp.
All right. Did you hit your mute button again?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Let's move on here to another question. This one comes from Shar in the chat room, who's asking, have you ever heard of people having their teeth drilled or implants put in teeth?
Yes, I have. The more common locations, though, are the nasal cavity, behind the ears, in the toes, the fingers, the legs, the feet. And there's the one, the hologram implant in the middle of the brain.
What do you think the purpose of implants is?
So you got different types. So most implants, yeah, I'm watching your chat. Yeah. So you've got tracking devices. These are basically with an abductee, you can I'm laughing, Dave. So they can pack up their stuff, they can move, but if the implant is not disabled or not removed, the aliens will track them to wherever they go. You've got the implants that are used for information upload and download, and those ones are you've got abductees that are given information. You've also got the uploads where the abductee is feeding information to the race that implanted it. Then you've got, so with a hologram, Keith says it's basically an open channel. And the specific abductees we work with, there were two of them, two different ones that had the hologram implant. And we can't stop it. We're not going to try stopping it because the location the implant is. And my other theory with hybrids, because we know of at least one hybrid that is here in the States. And if you think about it, if you have a child hybrid and they go to the doctor, there's going to be medical anomalies. So I think there's an implant in hybrids that basically scrambles the DNA and makes it appear more human. So those are your more common implant types.
Okay. So what do you think the purpose of the implantation by ET species is? Is it just tracking? Is it monitoring? Is it much more?
I think all three. I think it depends on the race. I think it depends on the purpose of the abductee. Most of your abductees, if you ask them, it's generational, and you'll find, their parents or the grandparents. Sometimes the abduction skips a generation, so you'll find that it's a certain family. I tell people all the time, don't be scared of being abducted, because you probably won't be, because most of your abductees they've been abducted generationally.
So you believe that maybe they are putting tracking systems in families?
Yeah.
What would be the purpose of that?
So it depends on. Some think that it's a past life thing, where they actually sign an agreement or a contract with certain alien races to be abducted.
Okay. All right. So when you were going through that type of process, dealing with somebody who's been implanted, do they normally get implanted once, or could they have numerous implants on their body?
So if you have more than one race that's doing abducting, then you're going to have more than one type of implant, and that's actually common.
Tell me about that.
So there's 16 documented races. All right. So you've got certain types of abductions. Some abductions are for science, some are for social science, and then you got the gray hybrid program. So with science, it's much like humans do with animals. Humans, they'll put implants in animals and they'll track them. Right. And it's for medical science.
Well, not just medical. They want to see everything about us. So they want to know our general patterns of our lifestyles. And the easiest way to do that would be by putting implants in not only one person, but multiple people throughout generations of the same family, see how our different patterns have changed. You know what I mean?
Right.
But what do you mean by patterns, guys?
So patterns of behavior, patterns of the different places we go as a person. So like generations before, they traveled differently. So 100 years ago, 150 years ago, people traveled by horse and buggy. They didn't go more than 150 miles from their home. It wasn't a common thing. Now, people travel across the world on a daily basis. You know what I mean? It's the traveling has changed so much that they study these things to see how it affects our different levels of behavior.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see where you're going with that. Do you think, though, and Eric, I'm going to bring you back in here. Eric, do you think that the way these implants are going, do you think all races are using the same implants for information? Or do you think that, let's say you're implanted and you have been implanted by the Greys and maybe Cole has been implanted by the Pleiadians? Is that kind of how it works?
So, no, because... See, you've got some implants, they look more like a BB. You've got some implants that are actually kind of T-shaped, and it also goes by location. So with the gray hybrid theory, or program, those are most commonly at the base of the neck and in the nasal cavity. So again, it depends on the race, it depends on, they all have their own technology, and they all have their own implant style and location. So again, we've had clients that actually had two different kinds of implants in different locations. Because again, so you've got the medical, or you've got the science, you've got the social science. These are the hybrids that are actually they come back and they describe. They were watching a TV, and they were shown cataclysmic events. They were shown peaceful events. Things of that nature. And they were basically the race was doing what's called mind scan, and that's where they're looking in the abductee's eyes and they're reading emotion. They're basically emotional scientists. or social scientists. Then you've got the Gray Hybrid program, which was actually creating hybrids through the Gray Hybrid program. And these are the abductees, especially back in the 90s, that would be implanted, or they'd be impregnated. The gestation was 2 to 3 months. They'd be re-abducted. There'd be the fetus would be taken out. And these are the ones that they would have a missing fetus. And, doctors would be baffled because these fetuses are gone. There's the hormones there. They knew they were pregnant, but there was no sign of abortion. There was no sign of, what's the word I'm looking for? The fetus was just physically gone. And then later on, this particular abductee would be taken back up and encouraged to interact with a toddler that looks human but alien at the same time. Now today, they've changed it to where the abductee's not taken back up, but the abductee's actually allowed to give a physical birth here on Earth. And the biggest difference, I would say, is the eyes with the hybrids today. They look human, but the eyes are off. They are also known to have abilities. They have gifts.
When you say off with the eyes, what do you mean?
Maybe more almond-shaped, bigger, brighter.
Okay.
How many people are implanted? Let's say in a family of 5, where one has seen a UFO or had continuous ET experiences. Like, let's say, Coop, your daughter's in her 20s or 30s, and she marries off, and she's had ET experiences because of what you do as a family. Does that mean because you may be implanted that she may be implanted, and then her children are going to get implanted? Or maybe her husband, who has really no biological connection to her?
It's possible, but again, oftentimes they'll skip generations. But it is possible. It does happen. And why they skip generations, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. But it is common where the parents are abducted and their children are abducted. I can't give you a good statistical number on that, though.
We only got about 4.5 minutes before we go back to break here on Spaced Out Radio at the top of the hour. Eric Cooper and Cole Wegleitner. I was going to go Light Wegner, but you're definitely not a Light Wegner. You're Wegleitner. Are with us from Forest Moon Paranormal, and we've been talking about alien implants. Do all species then do the implant program?
No, not by any means. And this is where our Keith comes in, because our Keith deals with 50-plus races on a daily basis. But no, you have, I think it's the Teklex that we're basically a snack. There are aliens, races that eat humans, and they have nothing but disdain for the human race. You've got the Consortium, which monitors the planet, but they won't intervene because they don't really care so much about the humans as much as they do the planet. So they won't intervene unless, of course, the human race decides they're going to do something that's going to destroy the planet. So not all of them, I'd say a small percentage of them actually do the abducting. Again, there's like 16 races that are documenting it, and even according to Keith, there's probably more than that.
That's interesting. Very interesting when you go down the lines of being implanted. Now, a lot of people will say that they get implanted in their joints, their ankles, their feet, their head, their necks. Where's the most common place you have heard of?
Most common place is still the nasal cavity in the back of the neck. And those are generally the gray. That's generally the grays. Why there, I don't know. I still don't know that one. Closest to the brain, closest to the nerve endings that'll cause, central nervous system control? Possibly. But as far as why they're in the locations they're in, I don't know.
Question from Shar. She is asking, how do you discern whether it's ET or demons messing with families?
And that's a great question, Shar. Love it when Shar asks questions. So, really energy, because so demons are rare. True demonic activity is rare. So you have lower level demons, which are they cause scratches, they cause physical manifestation, physical attack. Upper level demons don't attack; they manipulate, and they're the ones that really basically cause you to commit suicide. That's how they control you, and that's how they take over you. As far as the difference between them and aliens, they are two completely different species, different races. But demons are not alien, aliens are not demon. Really, you can tell by the symptoms of what's going on and the energy. The aliens have their own specific energy level. So if you raise vibrations, which is one big thing we do, and it does help with both situations, whether it's demonic or alien, but any kind of lower vibration, which is energy, is really how you get attacked by negative entities. And if you raise vibration, it's harder for aliens to abduct. So there is a commonality there.
Does it matter where it happens? Does it happen mostly for men, mostly for women? And are the places that they are implanted in different spots? We only have about 30 seconds.
Okay. No. Now, when you're talking UFO sightings, Washington State's number one in the United States as far as UFO sightings go. Montana, we just looked at that chart today, as a matter of fact. Montana was number 2. What was that? What was number 3? Because we were talking about this just 3 hours ago. When it comes to abductions, there's really no, it's scattered. And it really doesn't matter what country you're in. Abductions, different races seem to manipulate different continents. You got more Nordic activity in Europe, for example. You've got...
it was Wyoming, then Utah, and Alaska on the list.
Yeah. Those are the top 5 states that we know was only a list for the top 5 UFO sighting states.
All right. Well, let's leave it there for right now, gentlemen, because we are going to go to break at the top of the hour. Eric Cooper, Cole Wegleitner from Forest Moon Paranormal. Mike Wegner, he likes to be called. Cole. More of the ET Connection. Friday Night Affair here coming up on Spaced Out Radio Hour 3 next.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Hey fans, it's Dave Scott. Do I have something for you to check out? A great documentary about legendary Mexican investigative journalist Jaime Maussan and his search for the truth about UFOs. Beyond the Spectrum, Maussan's UFO files can be found on Amazon Prime. It's free to watch if you're a member. You might even hear me in it. So check out Beyond the Spectrum, only on Amazon Prime.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacey, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
From the mile-high mountains of Colorado to all of you around the world, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I invite you to stick around spacedoutradio.com for Saturday and Sunday nights where I host Spaced Out Weekend. Let me take you on a wild ride of weird and strange topics, from ghosts and ETs to remote viewing, psychic phenomena, and so much more. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern Time on Spaced Out Weekend, where we own the night.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paranormal in Cedar Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow night and Sunday, it's Spaced Out Weekend with Tessa Nicole Thomas. She gets going at 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern at spacedoutradio.com. Hi to everyone listening in on UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, down in Dangerfield, Texas, KDNF AM 1560, and in Ridgecrest, California, we're on KZFX 93.7 FM. Everybody in Ridgecrest, hope you're doing well after the second big earthquake in a row. Please stay safe. If you have any troubles, don't forget, just call 911. Let the professionals come take care of you. For the final time tonight, we got to get to the password first. Holy cow, forgot about that. And I forgot about a lot here. Oh, man. Let's get to Revolution Radio. Hi to everyone listening in on Revolution Radio. They are our digital station. And don't forget, all of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Zugmatography. Zugmatography is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features coming for you. The Gavinator should have them going in the next couple of weeks. And you can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, listen to the show live as well. Final time tonight, we introduce Cole Wegleitner and Eric Cooper. They are from Forest Moon Paranormal down in Washington State. They are filling in for R. Keith Andrews tonight, who's usually here on the ET Connection the first Friday of every month. However, sad news in Keith's life, as his mother passed away last night at the age of 81. And so we are asking everybody to send some thoughts and prayers Keith's way, so that way he can share the love that we all have for him on a nightly basis. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Washington State is very well known for ufology. It's one of the top states in the United States that has UFO activity. That is where the term UFO was coined and flying saucer was coined. Right in that area, right by the Pacific Ocean there. And with that comes a lot of experiences. Eric, when you are dealing with Forest Moon Paranormal, with dealing with ghosts and you're dealing with cryptids and you're dealing with UFOs and ET abductions, are there more UFO cases / ET abduction cases than Bigfoot or paranormal ghosts?
Not that we've encountered so far. I mean, I've got to say 2019's been phenomenal with UFO sightings. But the problem is we don't get real-time sighting reports. By the time we hear about the sighting, it takes a week, sometimes longer, for some of these reporting agencies to actually post them. So we don't get them in a timely fashion, which is part of the problem with this field. We deal with more of, to be honest, haunting cases than we do UFOs and Bigfoot anymore. Other than the fact that here in the Cascades, we have Bigfoot, reports all the time. So, no, UFO reports are on the rise. That's hands down. But when it comes to the cases we deal with, no, they're mostly haunting. They're mostly entity attacks, things of that nature.
Talk about entity attacks. What are those like?
So malevolent entity attacks, those are normally your scratches. They hear the footprints. They hear voices. And when you're looking at all these, you look at the mundane before you jump on the paranormal. That's just what we do. You encourage your client to go see a doctor, make sure they don't have anemia or high blood pressure or something of that nature. And that's why we have Francie. She has criteria set up for us, and she'll step in if she needs to when it comes to evaluating someone for a psychiatric issue versus a paranormal. And that's one of the great things about having her as an asset for the team. We need more in the psychiatric field to jump into the paranormal. That just, goes without saying. But no, and that's where, again, it has to do with location, because it's the astral that's going to go in and determine whether there's actually something there versus if there's nothing there, doesn't always mean there's not something there. Because a lot of times with fake cases, they aren't detectable per se from the astral. We've had one case in particular where it was a fey issue, being fairies, because the particular client had a fairy altar set up, but they weren't giving anything to the fairies, which obviously irritated them. And we had to educate the client on if you're going to have a fairy altar, you might want to give them something, or you're just going to irritate them and cause problems. That's the only case. And again, that's with the Fey realm. Generally speaking, you can see it from the astral, but that was one particular case where they couldn't. But again, it depends on location. If it's boots on ground, then we can go in, and generally speaking, you're going to be able to have high EMF readings, and you're going to know physically whether something's there or not, based on technology. But the thing I don't like about technology is it's too easily manipulated. It's easier to go old school, non-digital.
What does that mean, non-digital?
Okay, so going 35 millimeter film versus a digital camera. Going the old tape recorder versus a digital recorder. Things like that.
Understandable. Getting back to the UFO subject, though, since this is the ET connection. Mm-hmm. With the recent movement towards disclosure, and the latest news on that was President Trump talking about it with Tucker Carlson on Fox News earlier today, where he basically said, I don't believe in UFOs, but some very good people who are part of the military and the government do believe in this. I'm paraphrasing here.
Mm-hmm.
And when we see the whole focus shifting towards disclosure, do you think that the experiencer is the forgotten person in this whole movement towards proving ET abduction and ET contact, more importantly?
Well, hands down. We said that for several years now. That's the experiencer that's going to be the game changer. And, you know, you pointed that out, and we watched it, and we were talking about that tonight, actually. President Trump is the first, because you see this topic brought up every president we've had has been asked about UFOs. And, you know, Obama, for example, he laughed and joked and said, I suppose they could exist. President Trump didn't break a smile. He didn't laugh and joke about it. He simply said, you know, I believe anything's possible, but personally, I don't believe in them. But there's people that think they exist. And, you know, he didn't laugh and joke about it. I think he knows, and going by body language, he knows more than he's letting on. He can't talk about it. He's not allowed to talk about it. All the presidents are is puppets. You know, they're told only information they're allowed to know. So, has he been told anything? I'm sure he's been told a little bit, but he's not at liberty to tell us.
That's the one thing that I really noticed, and I was talking to Rich Giordano from Goof on Radio earlier today about it, and he noticed it as well, that even though Trump was saying no, his body language, his eyes, his hands were really showing like he was holding something back. Now, I'm not an expert at all in reading body language, but he seemed to get nervous when those questions were brought up. And to me, that usually seems that somebody is uncomfortable in answering those types of questions. And this line of questioning regarding UFOs right now, because he did acknowledge that the Navy pilots were seeing things that were unexplainable. He also made mention that he knows somebody in the government who is not wacky, who has a strong opinion of belief. Plus, he says he had been read in by another government official. We don't know whom that is yet. There is speculation that it could be Luis Elizondo from the To the Stars Academy. So with that, and the disclosure movement that is going forward, what would have happened if the president would have come out and said, yeah, I believe in UFOs and aliens and that we're being visited?
Well, you know, and I think it's funny, too, with that. He's the first president that ever came out, you know, what was it, 2 years ago? Or might have been last year. I can't remember. The time has been flying. But was talking about a Space Force. So where did that come from? You know, was it for space debris like some speculate? I don't think so. But, you know, we've been talking disclosure for what, everyone thought it was going to happen last year. I don't hold my breath anymore. I was too disappointed last year about it. So I don't think it's going to happen, Dave. You know, and agreed. Reading body language, yeah, I do think he's holding back a lot.
How does this affect the experiencers when it's being discussed about UFOs at that level? And the reason why I'm asking is, in the disclosure movement, Eric, we've seen a lot of movement away from aliens and extraterrestrials and talking about the taboo subject of life outside of this planet, which would also eliminate any talk of experiencers. Yet for the experiencer, the term abduction or contact is synonymous with UFOs in the sky.
Right. And, you know, one thing that we do, what's the definition of UFO? It's unidentified flying object. So what you have to do with any of them is, before you say experimental aircraft, because it's always a possibility, you know, we have to look at were there planets in the area, was it a meteorological phenomenon, was it just a simple, and I hate using the term, I hate the word pareidolia, but was it pareidolia with a shape of a cloud? You see that today. But, you know, you look at the reports are on the rise. And I think the experiencer is the forgotten one. And so you have the contactee and the abductee. The contactee is the one that usually has a wonderful experience. They don't they don't talk about. In fact, I've been attacked by some of them as, oh, how dare you say there's bad aliens? I've had nothing but a great experience. Well, tell that to the abductee, because the abductee is the one that's taken against their will, got medical experiments done to them. The hybrid program they've got, they don't have a pleasant time. You and I have talked about this before. You've got Greer, who thinks all aliens are wonderful, and you've got DeLong. Oh, we got to shoot first and ask questions later. And, there's no happy medium. One side says they're all wonderful and hunky-dory and space brothers and whatnot. The other one says they're all evil. Well, there's good, there's bad. Just like there's good and bad with everything. It's the experiencer or the abductee that you need to talk to and pay attention, because most of the time the first sign that they've been abducted is when they see the UFO, they have missing time, and they remember seeing the UFO leaving. That's generally step one with all the cases. Missing time being one of the big parameters.
How often are you dealing with missing time?
Well, it's common in most of our cases when it comes to the abductee. So we have two different forms that we use. We have our general paranormal pre-investigative form, and then we have a UFO abduction specific pre-investigative form. And so missing time is one of the key components of that form, along with nosebleeds, because that's been common with the gray hybrid program, where they put the implant in the nasal cavity. That's what causes the nosebleeds. But again, you always look at the medical versus was it really an abduction? Scoop marks being another one, various marks on the body being a common sign. Electrical phenomenon, meaning these are all common cases where the abductee is walking past streetlights, and the streetlights go out as they walk by them. And that's, my opinion, generally caused by the implants they have in them that's causing electrical interference. But those are the common patterns that we look for.
All right. So, with the aliens themselves, are you thinking that they could be part of the disclosure program, or that they are going to start amping up their sightings and contact with people on their own? Or do you think as we grow closer to disclosure, maybe that type of action will subside?
I think it's got to be the government. I think the aliens, and I'll go with Art Keith on this one, because, that's been something Art Keith and us have talked about in this fort a lot. They're not here for disclosure. If they wanted to disclose, they would, because they could. If they wanted to, they'd just be here. If they really wanted to attack this planet, they would, and you wouldn't even know it. They would hit, and there's nothing we could do. I think they're here because this civilization is at a dynamic that is catching a lot of attention. There's so much hatred, there's so much negativity and whatnot going on this planet right now that we're at a breaking point. And, I go right along with Art Keith on that one. That they're not here for disclosure. The sightings are on the rise because of the fact of the dynamic with the civilization right now.
We only got about 4 minutes left with you guys tonight, and I want to say I appreciate you taking the time under this difficult circumstance to fill in for our Keith Andrews on the ET connection. Eric, when somebody has ET contact and they notice it for the first time, what do you recommend they do?
So with most of the abductees that we talk to, I always encourage them to start a dream journal. And in the dream journal, they put down, obviously the date, the time, the weather, and a good description, and they do it as soon as they wake up. Because most of your conscious recall is going to come through dreams. Sometimes through daydreams, through visions they might have, things of that nature. And then meditation. Meditation's another one. I'm not an endorser for hypnotherapy, which some people are. They push hypnotherapy. I don't think those doors need to be opened through hypnosis. So, that's just a chance you take. Because if you open that door, you got some people that go suicidal because they don't want to deal with the potential they might see and live with. So those are the first two steps, is meditation, dream journal, and reach out to a team like ours. Reach out to maybe Dr. David Jacobs if you can, because he's a great abduction researcher that that he was the first one I went to back in '94 as far as reading his books. So you can, if you want good material to read up on the subject, Dr. David Jacobs, any of his material, and Linda Moulton Howe. Those are the biggest steps I can tell you. And document everything. If you wake up and you've got marks, take pictures, get photo evidence.
Mm-hmm. And if somebody wants more information on Forest Moon Paranormal?
Look for us on Facebook, Forest Moon Paranormal, and join the group.
How does one join your team?
If they want to join the team, you can contact me directly. You can either email me at medicineeagle@yahoo.com, MEDICYNE_eagle@yahoo.com, or jump into the group, and obviously you can find me right there in the group. Send me a message.
Do they have to have a beard?
No, they do not. No beard required. And so tomorrow night, if you don't mind me throwing this out real quick, tomorrow night is our 3rd anniversary for S4. And you're going to be on the show.
I will. I'm excited about that.
So, and to listen to the show, go to www.s-4radio.com. And, of course, you got Paracon, which will be September 28th. And you're a guest speaker.
I am. 4th year in a row. 4th year in a row. My topic will be about the control of the media narrative in ufology and why it's dangerous. I can't think of a shorter title just yet. But you'll also have Ross Allison, Mike Morin from Haunted Crew Canada, Morin. Jason Jordan. R. Keith will be there as well, I believe.
Jason Jordan, talking Bigfoot. And yes. I believe he's bringing a guest with him to also talk Bigfoot.
And you'll also have Dr. Louis Toury.
Yep, Dr. Toury. He'll be there. And we have a ghost walk at the Northern State for anyone that's local that knows about Washington State. We will have a ghost walk this year at the Northern State Dairy, which is a dairy farm at the Northern State Mental Hospital, because nobody can get there.
All right. Eric and Cole from Forest Moon Paranormal, thank you so much for filling in for our Keith Andrews tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day coming up, so stay tuned.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio listeners, it's Dave Scott. I want you to check out a great documentary I'm involved in called Beyond the Spectrum, Mosson's UFO Files. Directed by Darcy Weir, the film follows Jaime Mosson's journey for mainstream journalistic truth in ufology in Mexico. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon Prime. If you're a member, watch it free. It's worth the watch. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paranormal in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch. Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today. Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, if you've missed most of this show or others, you can check out our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where soon we will have a plethora of features for you. The Gavinator's putting them all together within the next couple of weeks. And, of course, right now you can read up on the SOR Newswire and what else? Listen to the show live as well. Speaking of the news, let's get to the weird, the wacky, the WTF. The SOR Newswire, brought to you by Captain Shirk, our intrepid news director. What? 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 The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire. What? At the back end of every show where we get to the strange, the weird. And we're going to start off with Google here. Because Google Maps server went offline in some parts of the world, and users found themselves utterly disoriented because they couldn't figure out which way the sun was pointing. Or they couldn't find themselves at all. Instead, they were reportedly shown no results for error messages. The app was reported down in the U.S., Brazil. See, Captain Shirk just messaged me. What? What? Anyways, back to the story. Had to break in there for her message. Need to respond to those. Anyways, it all happened in the U.S., Brazil, Peru, Mexico, Japan, the Netherlands. The Dutch couldn't figure out which holes to poke into their bridges to keep themselves dry. New Zealand and Australia, and both coasts of the U.S. apparently were hit the worst. Both the Chrome and Android versions of the app were not functional, according to the reports. Made Captain Shirk go, what? Over 1,000 people reported the problem to the website outage report within a 20-minute period, with some reporting it had been fixed and others remained stranded in GPS limbo. Twitter was full panicked as well, as users were wondering if they were alone in this nightmare, while others, like, oh my God, people, seriously, do you not know your northwest, east, and south? You don't need this stuff. What did you do before it was invented? Or is this a millennial thing? What? This just sets me off. I have a navigation system in both my vehicles. Don't need it because I know where I'm going. Don't need to program in a restaurant. Even when I live near Vancouver. Have you forgotten your sense of direction? The sun always sets to the west. The west. Usually on your left. Unless you're facing south, then it's on your right. People. I don't blame Google for this. They have some tech issues. I don't blame Twitter. But seriously, young ladies, young men, young whatever you want to be's, learn which way the sun is setting. It's easier that way. You can never get lost. Never. What's that bright thing moving in the sky? Captain Shirk, what is that? What? Whatever. Record-breaking seaweed has bloomed, and it's literally stretched from West Africa all the way to Mexico. So no point in playing in the ocean these days, because who actually likes it when you got your bare feet in the ocean and seaweed gets between your toes? I hate that feeling. It's like cotton balls and styrofoam rubbing together. It's terrible. Well, there's a record-breaking mass of smelly seaweed stretching right across the Atlantic. The seaweed bloom, called the Great Atlantic Sargassum Belt, the Great Atlantic Sargassum Belt, is the largest ever of its kind. Researchers at the University of South Florida use satellite imagery to determine that the giant floating mass of seaweed is a whopping 8,850 kilometers or 5,000 miles long. It weighs an estimated 20 million metric tons, or the equivalent of 1.6 million double-decker buses. That's a lot of seaweed. Could roll a lot of sushi with this. Can't stand seaweed. A worker uses a rake to clean up the piles of sargassum at some of the local tropical beaches because it's not very attractive to the tourists. Scientists first noticed that seaweed was spreading rapidly across the Atlantic and growing en masse in 2011. There's a huge amount of sargassum in a place where it's never been seen before. Yeah. Seaweed. Problems. Stay away from that stuff. All right. I'm not even American, but I think I'm a little offended by this. San Francisco is going to spend up to $600,000 of taxpayers' money to paint over a historical artwork at a public school depicting the life of George Washington, a mural once seen as educational and innovative, but now being criticized as racist and degrading for its depiction of Black and Native American people. The life of Washington was painted by Victor Arnautoff, one of the most foremost muralists in San Francisco during the Depression. The San Francisco School Board's decision to paint over the 83-year-old mural is prompting some to worry that other artwork for so-called New Deal era could face a similar fate because of changing sensitivities. In addition to depicting Washington as a soldier, surveyor, and statesman, the 13-panel, 1,600-square-foot mural at George Washington High School contains images of white pioneers standing over the body of a Native American and slaves working at Washington's Mount Vernon estate in Virginia. The board's decision last week comes at a time when the legacies of Washington and other historical figures who owned slaves are being re-examined. Some cities have changed the names of streets and buildings named after slave owners. Richard Parker, Walker, a professor emeritus of geography at the University of California, Berkeley, and director of the historic project Living New Deal, said the Washington mural is meant to show the uncomfortable facts about America's first president. For that, it was among many New Deal works of art considered radical when created. He goes on to say, "We on the left ought to welcome the honest portrayal," Walker added, stating that destroying a piece of art is the worst way we can deal with historic malfeasance, historic evils. Yeah. It's a beautiful piece of art. Now, I don't know America's history that well. Know a little bit. I'm from another country, if you haven't noticed, or if it's first time tuning in. But I don't think this should go. I mean, this is the first president of your country. Personal beliefs aside, art should never be destroyed. It's like books. Books should never be destroyed. Especially historic books that were written or painted in art terms way before we became more socialized. That's my political statement for the day. Egypt is clicking its tongue, tut-tut, over this. They're not liking this at all. A statue of King Tut fetched nearly $6 million at auction in London, despite cries from Egypt that the statue was stolen. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Antiquities of the Arab Republic of Egypt said an auction was held Wednesday at Christie's auction house when a number of Egyptian artifacts were sold despite the country's objections. The report goes on to say the ministries also protested that Christie's was moving forward with displaying more Egyptian artifacts at another auction, including a small statue of King Tut's head, despite the country's objections weeks prior to the first auction that questioned the legitimacy of the artifacts trading and communicating those protests to the British authorities. Christie's held an auction Wednesday that included 24 Egyptian artifacts among the other items. Ambassador Tarek Adel said the embassy regrets Christie's decision to move forward with another auction that included the King Tut statue, as noted in the joint statement. In this regard, he stressed that the Egyptian embassy in London will continue its efforts and measures in coordination with the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities in order to end the illicit trafficking of Egypt's cultural heritage. The King Tut statue fetched just shy of $6 million. The bronze statue depicts King Tutankhamun as the god Amen and dates back to 1333 to 1323 BC during the 18th dynasty, according to Christie's. Well, we lost another record, us Canadians, to the Americans. Don't know how we're going to get this one back. Officials in a Kentucky city say they broke a Guinness World Record with 675, make that 657, people gathered to participate in the world's largest paperball fight. Morgantown hosted the record attempt at 7 p.m. Thursday night as part of its annual Catfish Festival. The balls of paper were tossed by a total of 657 people, Mayor Billy Phelps said. Guinness adjudicator Philip Robertson was on hand to confirm the previous record of 283 people set here in Canada in 2015 had been defeated. Phelps shared photos on Facebook of the moment Robertson awarded a certificate for the new record. You can have that one. We don't want that one back. That's not a fun one. All right. Magnitude 7.1 earthquake rocks Southern California tonight. The second tremor in Ridgecrest and near in less than 2 days. Now, of course, we broadcast in Ridgecrest, California on KZFX 93.7 FM. It comes a day after a 6.4 magnitude earthquake centered near Ridgecrest rattled the state Thursday. That earthquake has produced more than 1,400 aftershocks, scientists have said. Multiple fires and injuries have been reported in Ridgecrest, about 150 miles from Los Angeles. After Friday's earthquake, or tonight's earthquake, Kern County spokesperson Megan Person Spokesperson Megan Person said the county has activated an emergency operator center. The fire department tweeted. The San Bernardino County Fire Department says it has received multiple reports of damage from northwest communities in the county. Homes shifted, foundations cracked, retaining walls down, the department said. One injury, minor, with firefighters treating the patient. Once again, do us a favor, Ridgecrest. Call 911 if you have any problems. That's the best thing that you can do. Finally, earlier today, President Trump met with Tucker Carlson from Fox News. Does President Trump believe in aliens and UFOs? That's what was asked. During the interview, the president said, apparently not. Well, I don't really want to get into it much, but personally I tend to doubt it. I'm not a believer, but I guess anything's possible. When Carlson pressed the president on a recent briefing he had regarding the Navy pilots who reported seeing strange objects, flying at hypersonic speeds and emitting no visible engine or infrared exhaust plumes, well, the president went on to say, I mean, you have people that swear by it, right? And pilots have come in and said and these people are pilots that have, not pilots that are into that particular world, but have had people saying that they've seen these things. Boy, try reading a quote from you. Carlson also asked the president about the claim made by a government official who said the U.S. is in possession of UFO wreckage at a facility on an Air Force base. Trump said he hadn't heard about it, but had seen the story covered on the Carlson show. He goes, I don't assume it's correct, but I have an open mind, Tucker. You be the judge. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. We're paying a tribute to R. Keith Andrews, who's a good friend of this show. Couldn't make it tonight. What's your favorite woo story of R. Keith Andrews? Oh. Mine's got to be eating the aliens. That was kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed that one. Really enjoyed that one. Let's see what you guys had to say, shall we? Because I know the Twitter crowd missed him. Hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Start with Chris. I love all of Keith's stories. Could listen to him for hours. Keith is a good dude. I've got to meet him a couple of times and hang out with him. He's a really good dude. Susan. All of his stories are great. Cannot wait to hear Keith tonight. Well, you got to wait. He won't be back on until August 2nd. Robin. Once he told me about the difference of owls with aliens, the different kind of owls that go with them. Kelly, the black goo. Actually, any story that causes you, Dave, to lose your composure, that's entertaining radio right there. Eric Mitchell, good dude. Says, Keith is a good friend of mine. We had some strange times on Thompson Lake in Maine. Double Bobby. I'd love to see R. Keith Andrews and Gordon Ramsay competing on Iron Chef with a very special secret ingredient, reptilian tail. Wow. Oh, if I would have known that one was coming, I would have saved that one for last. Penman, I love Keith's stories. Lisa, my favorite was last month when he had you cracking up so hard you lost it when you were talking about the time you got taken and you had to go pee. And someone asked how the aliens deal with their waste, and you couldn't stop laughing. Oh, that was funny. Catherine, there are so many great stories from R. Keith, it's hard to pin down any one singular one. He is so full of information, it's ridiculous. I've even tried to throw him for a loop, and he comes back with the answer. One of my favorite tales is when he was talking about eating with other species. Nikki, I don't have any one specific story, but I love listening to him talk about the different alien species he knows, their behaviors and reactions to things, and listening about large groups from each species who gather to discuss the different issues they have. It's always fascinating to me. Me too. Me too. I got to tell you, for those of you who haven't met Keith, it's easy to, kind of pick on him a little bit because he has that high-pitched voice. And his stories, well, let's face it, he's peak woo times 10. He's super woo. Probably should have a cape on. But I'll tell you, he's a great guy. I cannot speak highly enough of Keith. And I hope each and every one of you get an opportunity to meet him. I know he'll be at the Forest Moon Paranormal this September 28th. Might be something you want to try to go to. Be a lot of fun. Meet him. He's a good dude. Now, we want to say thank you to everybody who participated in the Thought of the Dave today, because it's just so much fun to do. And we want to say that we'll do it again on Monday. Thank you to Captain Shirk for putting all of our news together for the SOR Newswire. Great job this week, Captain Shirk. What? Who pronounces the H with the W? My father. That's who. SpacedOutRadio.com is where you can find the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk's news is all over the place there, so go check it out. I'll have a new blog up tomorrow. Well, Captain Shirk will put it up for me. But what a good week. What a great week we had this week. So make sure you tune into the weekend show at SpacedOutRadio.com. Tessa Nicole Thomas is here Saturday and Sunday with Spaced Out Weekend. 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern. On Spaced Out Radio. Guess what I'm doing right now? As soon as I get off the air with all of you, I'm going ghost hunting. Yeah, for a couple of hours. Why not? It's dark, it's spooky, it's rainy, it's dreary. It's like a fall day in the middle of summer with the mugginess. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So I get to talk to you again on Monday. I'll fill you in on anything good that happened. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks this week to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, in our chat rooms, on Facebook, the SOR Space Travelers, Spreaker, Revolution Radio, and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio, wherever you may be listening. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Somewhere. All right, thank you so much for joining us this week. Do your part to share the show. Make us bigger and better every single night. Because together, my friends, say it with me, we own the night. I will talk to you on Monday. Thank you for a fantastic week. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Good night.